Bonjour à tous, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel Learn French at Zénith School of Foreign Languages. Je m'appelle Anamika. My name is Anamika, and in today's video, we are going to learn. And the first verb that I have picked up is the verb être. Now, before we start, we move on. First of all, we are going to understand what are verbs. Okay, so any word that expresses the action, any action word is a verb. For example, I am talking. So to talk becomes the verb. I am sitting. To sit becomes the verb. I am explaining. So to explain becomes the verb. So any action that the subject does is your verb. Now in French, we have categorized the verbs in three groups. We have ER ending verbs, the verbs which end with ER. We have IR ending verbs, the verbs which end with IR. And we also have RE ending verbs, the verbs which end with RE. These verbs are further divided in two categories. First is the regular and the second is the irregular verb. The regular as well as the irregular verb. Now, what is the difference between regular and irregular verb? Regular verbs, they have a particular pattern. They have a particular set of rules which we follow in order to conjugate the verbs. And irregular verbs are the verbs which are totally different in the conjugation, totally different in the change in the conjugation. Now, what is conjugation? I will be explaining that very shortly in detail. So let's start with the verb être. Now, since you can see that this verb ends with re, so it becomes your re ending verb. Être, être. Now, être is re ending verb, which is also an irregular verb. It has a different way of conjugation. We are going to learn the conjugation, and perhaps you have seen few of the conjugations in some of the previous videos which we have done with you. So let's find out how do we conjugate, how do we change the verb être. The meaning of the verb is to be. In English, it means to be, and with the subjects that we did in the previous class, we've done 8 subjects. We've done je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. There is one more, but that I will do later. For now, consider 8 important subject pronouns. All right, let's start with the first one, that is je. So with je, it becomes je suis, je suis, je suis, je suis, tu es, tu es, tu es, tu es, tu es, tu es, tu es. It's like the alphabet A, that's the sound. Tu es. Il est, il est, il est, il est. Same pronunciation like the way we were doing with tu es. Similarly, il est, il est. Then you have elle est, elle est, elle est. Let's repeat. Je suis, which means I am. Tu es, which means you are. Il est, which means he is. And elle est, which means she is. Donc, je suis, tu es, il est, elle est. Simple. Let's move on to nous. For nous, we have nous sommes. Nous sommes. Nous sommes. Nous sommes, which means we are. Then we have vous êtes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. We're getting the sound of z. Why? Because we are doing liaison between s and e. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. Next is ils sont. Ils sont, which means they are. Ils sont. Ils sont. And then you have elles sont. Elles sont. Elles sont, which means they are. Okay. Let's have a quick revision of all the verbs. We have the verb être, and we have with it Je suis. Je suis. Vous allez répéter après moi. You're going to repeat after me. Donc, je suis, which means I am. Then you have tu es, which means you are. Tu es. Then you have il est, which means he is. Then you have elle est, which means she is. Nous sommes, which means we are. Then we have vous êtes, which means you are. Vous êtes. Then we have ils sont, which means they are. And the last is elles sont, which means they are. Okay, let's repeat once again. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Simple. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. So guys, you must be observing that I've written here the verb être, which means to be, and the meaning, in front I have written affinitive. Now, what is affinitive? So, affinitive means the affinitive form of the verb. So, for example, the verb être you have, okay? So, every verb has its one title or one, main heading, which changes as per the subject. As you can see, standard form is être, okay? Être, which is also known as the form affinitive, okay? But this form changes with the subject. This happens in English as well. For example, in English, we have the verb to be, but with je, with I, it becomes I am. With you, it becomes you are. With he or she, it becomes is. She is, he is. Similarly, this change in the verb is conjugation. So when you change the infinitive form of the verb as per the subject, that change is conjugation. The conjugation of the verb. The change of the verb as per the subject, that is the conjugation. So when I'll be saying let's do the conjugation, I mean I want to change the infinitive form as per the subject. I want to change the form of the infinitive verb as per the subject, and that change is going to be the conjugated form of the verb. Okay, so je suis is the conjugated form of the verb être. Tu es again is the conjugated form of the verb être. So this is how we say. Okay, let's repeat the conjugation once again. Donc, je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, and elles sont. So guys, in today's video, we're going to learn the conjugation of the verb avoir, which means to have. In English, it means to have. You're going to learn how to conjugate this verb. That is how to change the verb avoir as per the different subjects. Like the way we did with the verb être, now we are going to learn the conjugation of the verb avoir. So let's start. You're going to repeat after me the conjugation and the pronunciation. Alors, with je, it is j'ai, which means I have. J'ai. Tu as, which means you have. Tu as. Next is il a. Il a. In your tu as, your S is going to be silent. You don't have to say tu as. No, you have to speak. You have to say tu as. The sound of S is going to be silent. Tu as. Il a. Il a. Il a. Il a. Which means he has. The next you have is elle a. Elle a. Elle a. Which means she has. Elle a. A. So basically with tu, il and elle, the pronunciation is going to be a. Tu as, il a, elle a. Simple. Let's move on to the next sujet. We have nous avons. Nous avons. Nous avons. Nous avons, which means we have. Nous avons. Nous avons. Now, why this z sound is coming? Because we are doing liaison with S and A. There's a liaison happening between S and A. It's going to be nous avons. Nous avons. Vous avez. Vous avez. Vous avez. Vous avez, which means you have. Vous avez. Vous avez. Ils ont. Ils ont. Ils ont. The sound between S and O, because we are doing liaison here, is coming as z. Z. Ils ont. In the verb être, it was ils sont. So sound was coming. But here in the verb avoir, you will be using the sound z. Ils ont. Ils ont. Ils ont. Next is elles ont. Elles ont. Elles ont. Elles ont. Again, the liaison is happening here. So, elles ont. Elles ont. Let's repeat once again. Le verbe avoir. The verb is avoir, which means to have in English. We say j'ai, which means I have. J'ai. Tu as. Tu as, which means you have. Tu as. Il a. Il a, which means he has. Il a. Next is elle a. Elle a. Elle a, which means she has. Nous avons. Nous avons. Nous avons, which means we have. Then you have vous avez. Vous avez. Vous avez, which means you have. Vous avez. The next is ils ont. Ils ont. Ils ont, which means they have. And the last one is elles ont. Elles ont. Elles ont, which again means they have. We're going to learn how to conjugate the verb aller, which means to go. The verb aller. Le verbe aller, to go in English, it means to go. In French, we are going to learn the conjugation, pronunciation, how to conjugate the verb aller in French, which means to go. All right, let's start with the conjugation. So with je, it's going to be je vais. Je vais. Je vais. Your S is going to be silent. Je vais. Je vais. Je vais. Je vais. Je vais, which means I go or I am going. Je vais. Tu vas. Tu vas. Tu vas, which means you go or you are going. Tu vas. Next is Il va. Il va, which means he goes or he is going. Il va. Next is elle va. Elle va. Elle va, which means she goes or she is going. Nous allons. Nous allons. You're going to do the liaison here. Nous allons. Nous allons, which means we go or we are going. Next, vous allez. Vous allez. Vous allez. Vous allez, which means you go or you are going. Next, ils vont. Ils vont. Ils vont, which means they go or they are going. And the last is elles vont. Elles vont. Elles vont, which means they are going for the feminine plural. Elles vont. Let's quickly revise the conjugation once again. Okay. So the verb is le verbe aller, which means to go, aller. And how do we do the conjugation? Je vais. Je vais. Tu vas. Tu vas. Il va. Il va. Elle va. Elle va. So basically, the pronunciation of the conjugation of the verb aller with tu, il, and elle is going to be the same. Tu vas, il va, elle va. Same. Nous allons. Be careful with the liaison here. Nous allons. You do not have to say nous allons. No, c'est incorrect. Vous allez dire nous allons. Nous allons. Vous allez. Vous allez. Ils vont. Ils vont. Et elles vont. Elles vont. Great. It was super simple, isn't it? So I hope the conjugation is absolutely clear to you. So guys, if you have still not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to it. Hit the like button if you like this video and share it with your friends. I will be posting new videos very soon. Till that time, au revoir.